Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're on kind of a mission of hyper-efficiency. We're taking a really tight window, maximum 54 hours, and figuring out how you can pack an entire meaningful trip to the Bahamas into that tiny slice of time.
It really is the ultimate strategic challenge, isn't it? The Bahamas, I mean, it's often thought of as, mega resorts, luxury, high costs. So to really maximize just 54 hours, you need a very precise roadmap. It's got to pull together everything from budget backpacking hacks to tricks for accessing luxury resorts. Our sources have basically laid out that blueprint, and we need to pull out the key insights.
Absolutely. And it's not just about what to do, but maybe even more importantly, what you have to skip. And the big question right off the bat the sources tackle is 2 days even worth it?
Right.
And one source says yes, but with a big caveat, only if you live basically on the U.S. East Coast. New Providence is, what, 50 miles off Florida?
Barely, yeah. So the travel time makes it feasible.
But you are locked into a high-speed plan. The mantra here is efficiency is everything. Time is absolutely of the essence.
Yeah, that 54-hour clock starts ticking the second your plane hits the tarmac. If you lose an hour in customs or, 2 hours waiting for a bag that you decided to check.
Which you shouldn't do.
Exactly. You've already lost a big chunk of your trip right there.
Okay, so let's unpack those first critical steps. All focused on cutting out wasted time. First step, travel logistics. Direct flights seem non-negotiable.
Totally. The sources list about 14 U.S. cities: Boston, New York, Miami, Chicago, Atlanta, places with direct flights right into Nassau.
And tied directly to that is the second rule. Pack only a carry-on.
Yeah.
Why is that so critical for this specific short trip?
Well, because the whole point is getting from the airport terminal to, the beach or your hotel as fast as humanly possible. Skipping checked bags shaves off, 30, maybe 45 minutes on both ends?
Easily.
On a 54-hour trip, that's actually a noticeable percentage of your vacation time back. It could be the difference between catching that first sunset or, missing it entirely.
Right. And that efficiency focus has to continue the moment you step outside the airport. The sources really push pre-booking your airport shuttle or taxi.
Yeah, don't waste time haggling at the taxi stand. We saw Sandra's taxi service mention someone waiting right there for you. Personalized, immediate. Get in, go.
And this is where we hit that first, maybe, budget reality check.
Yeah.
Which ties straight back into convenience.
Oh, yeah. The hack we found. While you're in that pre-booked taxi, ask the driver to swing by a local grocery store before you get to the resort.
This feels like a really key move. Because if you don't, you face that classic resort sticker shock.
Exactly. The source that detailed this paid, get this, $22 for a normal bottle of Australian Gold sunscreen at the Atlantis gift shop.
Wow. Okay, that's easily double what you'd pay at home.
Right. It's a perfect example of that convenience markup. And it kind of sets the tone for your spending if you're not careful.
So avoiding those little inflated costs early on, like a sunscreen, helps you save your budget for, actual experiences. Great meal, maybe.
Precisely. It lets you control the budget for things that matter more.
Okay, let's shift to timing. When should you actually go to maximize the value and, maybe more importantly, avoid the chaos? The sources seemed pretty aligned on this.
Yeah, absolutely clear. Avoid peak season. That's basically January through April.
So winter escapes and spring break time.
Exactly. That whole period means maximum prices, terrible availability, and crowds described pretty vividly in the sources, let's just say, seriously intolerable crowds of drunk people.
Okay, noted. Not the vibe for a relaxing, efficient trip.
And apparently some related nip slips were mentioned too, so
yeah,
just generally chaotic.
Right, so the smart traveler aims for the shoulder season. Where's that sweet spot?
End of April or May seems to be the winner. You dodge the main winter-spring break rush, and you get in just before the wet season and hurricane season starts.
When does that kick off?
Hurricane season is officially June to November. The dry season is generally December through May. So late April, early May. You get good weather, fewer people. It's the strategic window.
Okay, now accommodation. This is where that 54-hour limit really forces your hand, doesn't it?
It really does. For such a short trip, the sources are adamant. You have to stay on Nassau itself, New Providence, or right across the bridge on Paradise Island.
The Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge, yeah.
Right, because any extra flight or even a long boat ride to an outer island, that just eats up way too much of your limited time. You could lose half a day easily.
So the mega resort becomes almost inevitable, like Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis, specifically the Royal Towers or the Coral Buildings, they offer that total convenience package.
Yeah.
Water parks, bars, casinos, pools, restaurants, everything's right there, a short walk away. For this kind of hyper-efficient, time-crunched trip, that convenience factor is, well, it's hard to argue against.
But, and this is a big but, convenience often clashes with finding an authentic cultural experience. Though, the sources did find a pretty good loophole for the budget-conscious traveler.
Ah, yes, the comfort suites trick.
Tell us about that.
So if you want the Atlantis amenities without the huge Atlantis price tag, you can stay at the Comfort Suites Paradise Island. It's right nearby. Guests there get full, unrestricted access to the whole Atlantis complex, the pools, Aquaventure Water Park, the restaurants, everything. But the room rate is significantly lower, more budget-ier,
Yeah.
as one source put it.
That's a fantastic tip. Exactly the kind of value insight we look for.
It is. But we do need to talk about the other side of that coin. The cultural cost of staying only on Paradise Island. The sources are blunt about this.
What do they say?
That Paradise Island is essentially ground zero for American vacationers. It's not where you find genuine Bahamian life.
Yeah, one description that stuck with me was of Marina Village calling it creepy, like a Truman Show-esque imitation village. Just shops and restaurants designed to look quaint.
Exactly. Feels manufactured, idealized, not the real thing.
And this extends even to cultural performances, right? The Junkanoo example.
Oh, definitely. The sources mention this traditional Bahamian Junkanoo parade that happens like twice a week in Marina Village. But the crucial point is this is a paid performance. It's actors essentially performing for tips.
Not the real deal.
Not at all. The real, powerful, authentic Junkanoo parades, the massive street celebrations with incredible costumes and music, those only happen twice a year, Boxing Day and New Year's Day.
So if you see a Junkanoo parade there in, say, July,
You're seeing a show, imitation design for tourists. It's important to know the difference.
that distinction is really key for someone looking for authenticity. Okay, so we're trying to blend budget and maybe a taste of luxury. The other big aha moment was the day pass strategy.
Yes, day passes are absolutely brilliant for a short trip like this.
How do they work?
Basically, you buy access to a high-end resort for the day. Think the Atlantis Water Park, or maybe an all-inclusive like Sandals Royal Bahamian. You get to use all their facilities, pools, restaurants, bars, everything, usually until about 6 p.m. It gives you that concentrated dose of luxury without needing to pay the, $800 a night room rate.
So you could do one day, super convenient resort day pass, and then the second day.
Exactly. The second day has to be about getting off Paradise Island and experiencing a bit more of Nassau proper, connecting with the local vibe.
Okay, so how does that traveler who smartly skipped the rental car get around efficiently?
You use the local hero, the Jitney bus.
Ah, the Jitney. Tell us about it.
It's the main local transport, affordable, popular, cash-only minibuses. They run set routes all over Nassau, and riding them is often an experience in itself. Sources mention colorful drivers, maybe some loud reggae playing. It's authentic, it's fast during the day, and only costs a couple of bucks.
But wait, let me push back on the efficiency part for a second. Given our 54-hour limit, the sources also noted the Jitney stops running around 6:30 p.m., right?
That's the catch, yeah.
So doesn't that kind of limit your evening exploration quite a bit if you rely solely on the Jitney?
It does force a trade-off, absolutely. If you want that daytime cultural immersion and affordability, the Jitney is great. But yeah, it means you pretty much need to be back near your base or downtown before dark unless you're ready to grab a taxi.
And taxis aren't always easy to just flag down everywhere, are they?
No, not outside the main tourist hubs like resorts or downtown. And speaking of driving, we should just quickly reiterate, they drive on the left.
Important reminder. And sources found it kind of fast and challenging.
Yeah, maybe not the best place for a nervous driver to learn left side driving on a short trip.
Plus, the lack of ride-sharing apps is huge.
Crucial point, no Uber, no Lyft in Nassau. Taxis are it, mostly. So plan accordingly. Have cash.
Okay, let's quickly cover some essential facts you should know before you even land. The basics.
Right. The Bahamas, it's an archipelago. Over 700 islands and keys. It's a British Commonwealth nation.
And the Balam in the Bahamas is officially capitalized. Little trivia point there.
Yes, it is. And economically, maybe surprising to some, it's the third richest country in North America after the U.S. and Canada.
Wow, okay. What about money and language?
Super simple. English is the main language. Currency is easy too. U.S. dollars are accepted pretty much everywhere, and they exchange one-to-one with the Bahamian dollar, BSD.
But there's a tip about getting Bahamian dollars back in change, isn't there?
Yes, critical tip. If you get BSD back, try to spend it or exchange it back to USD before you leave the Bahamas. It can be difficult or impossible to exchange Bahamian dollars once you're back home.
Good practical advice. Now, the cost nuance. We know Nassau is expensive, But there's a specific detail about bills.
Ah, yes. This affects every meal, every drink tab. Standard bills automatically include a 10% value-added tax, VAT, and a 15% gratuity.
Automatically. So 25% is added before you even think about an extra tip.
Exactly. It's already baked in. This is a huge factor for budgeting. In many places, tipping is optional or discretionary, but here you should expect that 25% to be on almost every bill for services.
So always check your bill, but basically, mentally add 25% to menu price right away.
You have to. It prevents sticker shock when the final bill arrives.
Okay, so if you're venturing off Paradise Island for that second day, Spanish Well's got a strong recommendation. It's on St. George's Cay.
Yeah, and it sounds completely charming. It's an old fishing village, totally different pace.
How do you get around?
Mostly golf carts on, like, crushed shell roads. The sources raved about having lunch right by the sea there. The shipyard restaurant was mentioned specifically.
What do you recommend there?
Sticky conch bites? Apparently unbelievably good. It sounds like a genuine escape from that more polished Paradise Island feel.
Nice. Okay, iconic water activities. What are the must-dos if you have limited time?
Well, if you dive, Stewart's Cove is the go-to spot, highly recommended. And for the famous swimming pigs.
Ah, yes, the pigs.
You want Rose Island, only about a 20-minute boat ride from Nassau. The key thing is the pigs there are tame, used to people.
As opposed to
the original, maybe wilder pigs way out in the Exumas, which is a much longer trip, not feasible for 54 hours. Rose Island gives you the experience efficiently.
Got it. Now let's talk food. We got to add some flavor here.
Yeah.
What defines Bahamian cuisine according to the sources?
Conch. It's got to be conch. It's like the national food.
And what forms?
All the forms. You need to try fresh conch salad like ceviche. Fried conch fritters are everywhere. And then there's conch stew, which is richer, heartier.
Okay, beyond conch.
Look for Bahamian patties. They're like savory turnovers, often with spiced meat, flaky pastry. And for dessert, the absolute classic is duff.
Duff. Okay, you got to describe duff.
It's this amazing guava pastry dessert, kind of like a steamed or boiled doughy roll, filled with spiced guava fruit, and then usually drenched in this warm, buttery rum sauce.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Comfort food central.
Totally. For finding great traditional food, sources pointed towards Nesbitt's for things like stew, and for super fresh, made right there conch salad, Dino's Conch Shack was the spot.
Excellent tips. Okay, finally, we need to cover the critical safety and health advice. This stuff is really important.
Absolutely essential. Let's start with health. Number one rule, do not drink the tap water. Period.
Stick to bottled water only.
Bottled or filtered water provided by the resort. And be careful with ice, too. Make sure it's from filtered water. There was a really stark warning in one source.
What was it?
Someone reported being sick, like really sick, for 14 nights straight, just from brushing their teeth with tap water.
14 nights. Wow. Okay, that drives the point home. Don't risk it.
Definitely not. That alone could just completely ruin your short trip. Other practical health things, bring in bug spray, mosquitoes can be an issue.
Standard tropical advice.
Right. And if you're doing any boat trips, like out to Rose Island for the pigs, Bonine was recommended for motion sickness. It tends to work well without making you too drowsy.
Good tip. Wait, what about personal safety in Nassau?
Standard vigilance, really. Don't flash lots of cash or expensive jewelry. The advice was pretty consistent. If, in the very unlikely event you are targeted for robbery, do not resist. Just comply.
Valuables aren't worth risking your safety.
Never. And there is this specific advice about not walking alone after dark in non-tourist areas, particularly mentioning the over-the-hill area of Nassau.
Right. Can you give just a little context on over the hill? What does that refer to?
Sure. It's a historical term for the areas south of Nassau's main downtown strip, kind of literally over the ridge. These were historically the settlements for freed slaves and generally represent a different socioeconomic area than the main tourist zones.
So, like in many cities worldwide.
Exactly. The advice is just common sense. Stick to well-lit, populated areas after dark, especially if you're alone, to minimize any potential risk. Use taxis at night if you're unsure.
Okay, so we've covered logistics, costs, culture, food, safety. After synthesizing all this, what's the big takeaway for someone trying this 54-hour Bahamian dash?
I think it boils down to priorities. Success really hinges on making a choice. You face an unavoidable trade-off, really. Option 1, maximize your limited time and convenience. That likely means embracing the resort life, probably on Paradise Island. Option 2, pursue a more genuine cultural connection. That means being strategic with things like the Jitney, maybe day charters, and spending significant time in Nassau proper.
But it sounds like it doesn't have to be strictly one or the other.
Exactly, that's the key insight. Through smart planning, using those day passes, doing the grocery store stop, leveraging the Jitney during the day, you can actually blend them. You can get a taste of the resort luxury and a glimpse of the real culture, all without totally blowing your budget or wasting those precious hours.
And the sources also seem to hint that sometimes, even in these very tourist-focused places, the most genuine connections come unexpectedly. There was that story.
Ah, the blackout story near the fish fry. Yeah, that was powerful.
Tell us quickly.
A traveler found themselves kind of stuck in a less touristy area late at night during a total power outage. Pretty unnerving. And a local food vendor, seeing they were lost and maybe a bit scared, just stopped what he was doing, drove them back to their accommodation safely.
And refused payment?
Refused payment entirely. Just asked that the traveler pay it forward someday, show the same kindness to a stranger back in their own country.
Wow. That really cuts through the manufactured experiences, doesn't it?
It really does.
And it leaves us with a final kind of provocative thought for you, the listener, to chew on. The resort world offers ease, predictability, convenience. But how much of the unpredictable, sometimes messy, but ultimately genuine reality of a place are we willing to engage with, even when we're just trying to get away on vacation?
That's a great question. It really gets to the heart of what travel can be.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure.